mysterious strange abandoned places, abandoned hotel and haunted abandoned house. 1. The strange deserted Ducker Hotel of Monrovia. The deserted Ducker Hotel of Monrovia. Ducker Hotel used to be one of the most prominent hotels not only in Liberia but in the whole Africa. Built in 1960 on the highest point of Monrovia, the five-star hotel had 106 rooms and it was 8 stories high. Being the first international class hotel constructed in Liberia operated by Intercontinental Hotels, Ducker Hotel was frequented by politicians, diplomats and business people from across the continent. It hosts many important meetings between African leaders and its various amenities. French restaurant, swimming pool, tennis courts made it popular with tourists and visiting professionals from all around the world. Ducker Hotel closed in 1989, just before the coup of Charles Taylor, which led to the First Liberian Civil War. The hotel was damaged and looted during the war and eventually its rooms were occupied by displaced residents of many of Monrovia's slums. In 2007 the government evicted the squatters and a year later leased the hotel to the government of Libya with plans to renovate and reopen Ducker Hotel. However, with the fall of Gaddafi government, these plans were abandoned and Ducker Hotel remains abandoned until today. 2. Belitz Heilstatten, Belitz, Brandenburg, Germany. Spread across 200 acres of woodland south of Potsdam, this sprawling sanatorium is a veritable treasure trove for urban explorers. The construction of Belitz Heilstatten began in 1898, in response to the prevalence of tuberculosis. Architect Heino Schmiden designed the sanatorium in accordance with a pavilion plan. 4 Distinct quadrants segregating the men from the women, and the quarantined patients from those with non-infectious diseases. A 600-bed state-of-the-art treatment facility equipped with spacious south-facing balconies opened in 1902, closely followed by several additional buildings, bringing the total patient capacity up to 1,200 and expanding the complex to include a number of service buildings, amenities, and even its own power plant. Throughout World War I, Belitz Heilstatten served as a field hospital for the Imperial German Army, treating over 12,500 wounded soldiers, including none other than Adolf Hitler. It was following the defeat of Nazi Germany in 1945 that the Soviet Army commandeered the hospital. They remained in control for 50 years, withdrawing in 1995, long after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Attempts were then made to privatize the hospital, but without great success, and so, with the exception of one part of the complex which has been restored as a clinic for neurological patients, the once bustling buildings now stand empty. I have no doubt that in its prime Belitz Heilstatten would have been regarded as one of the most aesthetically pleasing health facilities in the world. Even now, in its severe state of disrepair, the interiors exude beauty and make for some of the most stunning urbex photography I've seen to date. 3. Medfield State Hospital. Medfield, Massachusetts, USA. Established in 1892 as Medfield Insane Asylum, it was the state's first facility for dealing with chronic mental patients. Built on the cottage plan, the complex consisted of 58 buildings spread across 900 acres of land and, at its peak, housed as many as 2,200 patients. It was closed in April 2003. The 35 buildings that remain are in varying states of disrepair, but a reuse plan is currently underway. 4. Haunted abandoned Pula. Pula is a city in Croatia best known for a scattering of ancient ruins from the Roman Empire, including a large amphitheater built in the 1st century AD and the famous Gate of Hercules. But it also has at least one ruin of a different type, a massive abandoned hospital, hurriedly closed down in 2003 and still littered with rusting medical supplies, peeling wallpaper, and collapsed hospital beds that once held the sick and the dying. Nobody seems to be sure why this particular hospital was abandoned, but one thing is certain, it's not alone. Before 1991, Croatia was part of Yugoslavia. After the new government was set up, a lot of the old government-controlled facilities, hospitals, schools, military installations were either phased out or abandoned completely. This hospital appears to be a throwback to earlier days, even though it was still apparently running for another decade. Interestingly, hotels and resorts in Croatia are now heading down the same path. There are over 100 abandoned hotels throughout Pula and other cities. The hotel one man dug out of solid rock. The Gankutsu Cliff Face Hotel in Saitama is the relic of a dream, one man's vision to carve out a massive hotel in the sheer rock face, working alone with only a chisel for 21 years until the day he died in 1925. He finished several rooms, a grand staircase, the 2 main entrances, and several windows including a balcony. The work was completed after his death, with a false facade slapped in white brick over the entrance to make it more appealing. It was closed after about 60 years due to cave-ins, the false facade stripped away, and all ways in and out strapped with iron bars.